Good morning, students. We are going ahead with Russian Revolution. So, in the Russian Revolution, we have seen the February Revolution, the problems that were created in the month. So, the king abdicated, a provisional government came into existence. Means a temporary government till the constitution was written. So during this time, the revolutionary leader of Russia, that is said to be Vladimir Lenin, he was not there in Russia. He was forced by the government to be out of Russia. So the war is going on. He was in Germany. Now he comes back to Russia and the provisional government came into existence. So let us see what is happening in 1970. Army officials, landowners and industrialists were the members of the provisional government under the leadership of KERENSKII. I have showed you the photo of him in the beginning. Among these army officials, landowners and industrialists were the members of the provisional government. Among those members, there were liberal-minded people, there were socialist-minded people. They wanted an elected new government. Traditionalists or conservatives are not ready for any kind of change of government. They want the king should survive and continue. But this group of people who are liberals and socialists, they thought of a government which is elected by the people and that should come into existence after the universal adult franchise is implemented, a constitution is written. That was the thinking of these people. And among this, there may be army officials, there may be liberal landowners will be there may be industrialists, all sorts of people, and some workers also were there in the temporary government or provisional government that came into existence in Russia. Restrictions on public meetings and associations were removed. So the provisional government has done one thing, they removed the restrictions. People were not permitted to gather. Now they have removed all those things and they have permitted the people to come together. So restrictions on public meetings and associations were removed. Soviets like the Petrograd Soviet were set up everywhere. No common system of election was followed. Everywhere Soviets were established in every system, every nook and corner of Russia. But no common system of election. There was no proper election or anything. Only Soviets were. Soviets means council. In every place, as much as possible, councils were established. The local members, all the people of that local area would be the members of the council. That is what they have. We know the local party had our local party organization like that it is. In April 1970, the Bolshevik leader Lenin returned to Russia from his exile. Now all those things, the formation of the government has taken place in the month of February and March. Now he comes back, the leader of Russian Revolution, Vladimir Lenin. He lands up in Russia in the year 1917, April. So that is what we have to see here next. Now, as he came inside, he put forward his idea, his thesis, his thinkings. Every leader should have his thinking, and he had his own thinking, and he put forward his ideas and thinking as per the thinkings of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. That you must understand. So, as per that, whatever he has put forward 3 points. Let us see what are the important 3 points. Where land to be transferred to the peasants. That is the first thing. The first war should be stopped. Second, all the land, agricultural land should be given to the hands of the peasants, should be taken over from the hands of the landlords. So persons who are doing the work in the agriculture field should be given with the land. That was the idea and thinking of Lenin. And that thesis, the ideas are known as April's thesis. Lenin's April thesis. So in the Lenin's April thesis, the ideas that are put forward by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, the important 3 points were: war to be stopped, land to be transferred to the peasants, and banks should be nationalized. Means all the banks which are providing financial assistance to the people should be brought under the control of the government. No private individual would be permitted to run the bank. So giving loan, the profit, whatever, everything will go to the government. And that money whichever comes to the government, it can be distributed to the people. Now modern period we know, just opposite is taking. All the banks are being denationalized. All the private government companies are being sold out. Yesterday, Bharat Petroleum is being discussed in the market. They have quotations have been received to sell Bharat Petroleum in India. So now government is selling out. Now at that time the banks are in India, Indira Gandhi has nationalized the banks. Now denationalization is just selling the things to private companies. Private persons are permanent. So the Russian Revolution was mainly concentrating on nationalization. All the profit should be given to the government. Individuals are not permitted to become rich. Bolshevik party to be renamed. So he told the party which is called the majority party, they called the Bolshevik party, because majority members in the Russian party were called Bolsheviks, and that Bolshevik party, he told, he should be renamed as a communist party. Not Bolshevik party, which is known as a communist party, because it indicates new radical aims, sudden changes needed. Because these were radical thinkings, radical, sudden implementations were needed. Majority of people were not ready to accept it, but the peasants were very happy of it, and naturally majority were peasants. The persons who are in positions were unhappy with it. That is the reality. Now, others in the Bolshevik party were surprised by the April thesis of Lenin. They never expected such a kind of drastic change, even stopping the war. Because a country has to stop the war means it is accepting the failure, defeat. So the people of Germany and Russia were not ready to accept that. Now he tells the war should be stopped. We should stop fighting with the Germany. And he told the national banks should be nationalized. So naturally, those people who are working in that area and the landlords, all they were not ready to accept. So majority members, many members in the Bolshevik party were not ready to accept this change, but suddenly they agreed. They thought that the time was not right for a socialist revolution. They were not ready to accept that the thinking of Lenin. They were not ready to say that we are ready to have a revolution. That was the situation. In industrial areas, factory committees were formed. They began questioning. They began questioning the way industrialists ran the factories. Now, committees were formed in all industries. And those committees began to question the owner of the factories. They began to say the profit should be given to the people, the workers. The factory should be controlled by the workers, not by the owner who has invested money and started the factory. Whatever the things, it should be shared by all the members of the factory. Factory is of all the workers, not of the owner. So that thinking has come into the mind of the working class people, and they began to question the owners of the factory, say that ownership is not possible. It should be handed over to the workers. See the changes in the thinkings of the people. Trade unions grew in number everywhere. Trade unions, organizations of the workers. That's a trade union. Drivers trade unions are there. Electricians trade unions are there. Barbers trade unions. Like that means organization workers, nothing else. That is known as trade unions. So these trade unions were formed in everywhere. Soldiers' committees were also formed in modern defense. They are not permitted to make any organization, but there they have made, because it was not written that they should not do it. So they have made it. In June, about 5,000 Soviets sent representatives to all Russian Congress of Soviets. You know, the meaning of the word Congress is coming together. So the Russian Congress of all the Soviets. So 500 Soviets had sent their members to the Congress of the Soviets. Means 500 Soviets had come into existence all over Russia by that time. That you must understand. Bolshevik influence grew. The provincial government decided to take stern measurement against the spreading discontent. Now the government began to sense the problem. The government under leadership of Kerensky began to sense the problem. He understood that things are going beyond the control, because Bolshevik ideology is being spread to all over Russia. It is instigating the people, instigating the workers. So Soviets were formed, and they are becoming very strong and powerful. So that the provincial government head, Mr. Alexander Kerensky, comes to know about it. So he is understanding. He found people are turning angry against him. Now, it resisted attempts by the workers to run factories and began arresting leaders. So the factory is of the owners, not of the workers. So the leaders who were demanding the ownership of the factory were arrested. So naturally there will be protest. So creating friction and dissolving the friction, all those things are going on. So government has to take it, because the factory owner comes to the police and tells that this, I cannot run the factory. Then naturally the government has to take the step. Government has to arrest the persons who are creating trouble in the factory. So it is going on. Demonstrations were sternly repressed. Now government is, you must understand, when provisional government came into existence, it removed all the permission of ban on demonstrations and protests and strikes. Now again they are reinforcing, because government, people are turning against the government, so they are reinforcing. Many Bolshevik leaders had to go to the hiding or flee, because government began to arrest the Bolshevik leaders. So they had to hide, or they had to run away from that place. All those things began to happen, because the government is doing such a step. So it is a duty of the government. Government thought government is doing like that. That is what. So meanwhile, in the countryside, peasants and their socialist ideology supporters, meanwhile the socialist ideologies were being spread in the peasant, in the villages, countryside villages. So they began to catch hold of the land, property from the landlords, and they began to say it is their land. Already a socialist pattern of society was existing in Russia. So that is re-emphasized and they are implementing it. That is what is happening in the countryside, in the villages. It resisted attempts by revolutionary leaders pressed for a redistribution of land. Now Bolshevik leaders who were spreading the ideas of Bolshevism in the villages, they told the land should be taken from the hands of the landlords and be given to the peasants. That was the idea of Lenin. So that they have demanding. Land committees were formed to handle this. So there will be a committee with the landlord and the members. So naturally majority will be the peasants, and whatever is being decided, discussed, planned by the peasants would take place. encouraged by the socialist revolutionaries, peasants seized land between July and September in 1917. Because of the spread of this ideologies and thinking, the peasants went and occupied all the land from the hands of the landlords and told it is their land. It is a common land. It is not the land of a landlord. So they have taken up the land. So villages have common socialist pattern of society. They were planning to establish in Russia. Now you see the revolution of October 1970. So the real change of power of government is taking place. This is what we are going to see. Till now we have seen the background, the thinkings, preparations. Now the real revolution, that's the October Revolution in 1917. The power is taken over by the government, by the socialist ideology government under the leadership of Lenin. Kerensky is removed. Complete Russia is captured by this group of people. Lenin feared the provisional government will set up a dictatorship because when the people are not listening, naturally the government may turn into dictatorship. Dictatorship means it is very difficult to fight because the government is having the authority on everything. It will not permit any people to do anything. So that is the situation. Lenin feared the provisional government would set up a dictatorship. That was the thinking of him. And he spread that idea. See, if we don't act now, it is going to be dangerous because government may declare dictatorship in Russia. So it will become more powerful than the kingship. So Lenin is spreading that idea. In September, he began these discussions for an uprising with the Bolshevik supporters in the army, Soviets, and factory workers. Even in defense, they are influencing the people. That change of government is needed. Change of government is needed. We must know the government. We should have a government of our own, a socialist pattern society government. So there was a plan, uprising, come out in the streets against the government. So it was being discussed, but no date is fixed. No date is fixed. So an uprising in the mind, and the Bolshevik supporters, those who are having that ideology of Bolshevik socialism, and they are there in army, in the organization, the villages they are there, and the factory workers, all important sections of the society. The idea was being spread through communications, mouth-to-mouth communications. This was going on. In 16th October 1917, Lenin persuaded the Petrograd Soviet and the Bolshevik party to agree to a socialist system of government. See, in October 1917, that's a real revolutionary date. He told them, capture the power, remove the kings, remove the rulers. That's what. So the Soviets in Petrograd were ordered or asked to go and capture the power. The persons who are in position should be arrested. The ministers should be arrested. Officials should be arrested. And officials should be asked to do whatever the government tells or this party tells. This is what has happened. A military revolutionary committee was appointed by the Soviet Emperor Leon Trotsky to organize the seizure. The army headquarters, it is called the Red Army. The Red Army was led by a person named Leon Trotsky. He was the leader of Russia during the revolution in the army unit. And this Leon Trotsky was thrown or sent to Siberian desert by Joseph Stalin in 1928. Because there was a friction between Joseph Stalin and Trotsky. Lenin died in the year 1924. After death of Lenin, there was a friction to who will have the power. Two important leaders were Joseph Stalin and Trotsky. So both were fighting to get to the power, and at last success was in the hands of Joseph Stalin. So he chased Trotsky out of Moscow and area and sent him to Siberian desert. Apart from knowledge about Trotsky. So the person who led Red Army, the armed forces to capture power in Russia, is Leo Trotsky. The date of the event was kept in secret. So revolutionary groups, this military unit was planned, and the social organization or the political group was planned. Everything was planned and set up by Lenin. The action began on October 2. So 24th October is the date of a revolution of Russia. Sensing the trouble, Prime Minister Kerensky had summoned troops. See, a person who is sitting in the chair as a ruler, he understood something is good. He got the information. So, what he asked the troops to come inside, to chase the people, to stop people. But many of the troops were not ready to listen. That was unexpected. They have already been supported or taken into conference by Lenin and team. So things went beyond the control of Kerensky. At dawn, the military men loyal to the government seized the building of 2 Bolshevik newspapers. So as per the order of the Prime Minister, Bolshevik newspapers were captured and the center was taken over by the army unit of government, existing government. But what happened? Pro-government troops were sent to take over the telephone and the telegraph office and protect the Winter Palace, telecommunication facilities. All those things means the army moved into these areas, into the telephone office and the telegraph office of that time. Government moved inside. There was no mobile, students. Telephone lines were very less. Emergency communication facilities were there. All those things were taken over by, controlled by pro-government troops which were supporting the existing government, that is Kerenskii's provisional government. But what happened? We'll see what happened. In a swift response, they also came to know that government is moving like this. Then what they did, military revolutionary committee seizes the government offices and arrest ministers. So arrest means capture them. Told them no actions. So the revolutionary members went into all those places and they captured. They did not permit the government officials or the persons who supported the government to do anything. That has happened. Late in the day, the ship AURORA shelled the Winter Palace, attacked the Winter Palace by the revolutionary soldiers. And other vessels sailed down the NEVA and took over various military points. The Navy was absolutely supporting Lenin's revolutionary ideas. So the naval ships entered into that area and attacked that area and took control of everything. By nightfall, the city was under the committee's control and the ministers had surrendered. Everybody raised the hand and accepted whatever you say, we are ready. So change of the government in the month of October 24th, October 1917. The meeting of the All Russian Congress of Soviets in Petrograd, the majority approved the Bolshevik action. Everything is majority decision. The Bolshevik leaders met together and told we will remove all the government and government will be installed by us. That is accepted. Lenin will be the leader. They agreed. There was heavy fighting in other cities, mainly Moscow and other areas. There were heavy fightings between the soldiers supporting the provisional government and the soldiers or the persons who are supporting the Bolshevik ideology. Frictions and fightings, all those things happen. That's what. This is what is happening. So 24th October 1917. a new governmental system came into existence in Russia.